Chris Rock is performing a stand-up gig tonight in Boston, his first appearance since the Oscars. If you were Chris, what would be the first joke you'd tell, assuming you'd want to acknowledge Will Smith's slap? Walk out, wait for applause to die down, then. Don't get any ideas, none of you motherfuckers are famous. He really deserved the award for Best Actor, because after watching the movie Ally, I thought he actually knew how to throw a punch. You know how you can tell that slap wasn't staged? Will didn't make the studio give Jaden a role. Riff off of Pee Wee Herman's opening remarks at MTV Awards after he was arrested for masturbating in public. Seen any good TV lately? I was at the Comedy Cellar, which based on the timing must have been one of the first times Michelle Wolf performed after the White House Correspondents' Dinner. She said something like, "I'm Michelle, and I never thought I'd say this, but you probably know me from Fox News." To get started, are there any insecure couples in the front row? Someone said he should get a helmet and a neck support. I think this would have been the first part of the joke, and then he should have said, "I brought this because my next joke is about Shaquille O'Neal's wife." Edit, wow, this blew up. Thank you so much for the awards. No talk of Will Smith, still tore the house down. He's got another show at 1030. When he walked out, the fucking building shook. 10-minute standing O. He said, "Come on people, let me do the show." The guy's material is brilliant. Comic genius. Talked politics like if he was possessed by George Carlin. The whole thing was a comedic masterpiece. COVID, Ukraine, Trump, Hillary. No holds barred, no one was spared. Tonight wasn't for the squeamish. Fucking hilarious. Comedic gold. Chris Rock is a comedy legend and a class act. First show at the Wilbur. Thank you Chris, you're a class act. So, I fired one of my joke writers Monday. I feel like a joke about Will Smith would just be cheating at this point, but I guess that's never bothered him before. Chris in these comments taking notes. Just look out at the audience, squinting a bit in the lights as you scan the crowd carefully, until the laughter starts, then just start the act without mentioning it at all. But I hope he has bodyguards, as some idiot might try to rush the stage. Now before we start, does anyone here have a wife with a medical condition that I need to be aware of? So. I guess you've all heard that G.I. Jane 2 probably isn't happening. Come out wearing a helmet and with 2 bodyguards by his side. What's a piece of information you learned that now feels almost illegal to know? Read a personal finance book that recommended calling your providers once a year, credit card companies, TV/internet providers, cell phone company, etc., and demand a lower rate or price. I've been following that advice for 2 years and have not been denied once. Last week I saw a commercial for my internet provider offering a super low introductory rate, so I called to demand that I get that rate. They said no problem, and now I save an extra $700 a year because of a 5-minute call. I am a very passive introvert, so it's not the most easy or comfortable thing, but the money I save is worth it. They may so know initially, but if you ask a few times or ask to speak to their supervisor, they very usually give in. *edit The book is called I Will Teach You to Be Rich, cringy title, awesome book emo. *edit, no, this doesn't always work. Speaking from my own experience, it has worked with my cell phone provider, cable company, and credit card company. In other words, it's worth a try. You must be educated on what the current rates are and be specific on the phone. When they say no, ask to speak to a supervisor. I am also never rude or nasty, I just calmly state the rates, that I want them, and then ask to speak to a supervisor. Creating nitrogen triiodide. When in liquid form it is stable, but once it dries so much as a fly landing on it creates a purple smoke explosion. It's so unstable that alpha radiation can be used to detonate the stuff. It's actually easy to get the materials and create the stuff. Filled my high school hallway stairs with purple smoke on the last day of school. ** Thanks for the awards. Fixed _alpha waves _to _alpha radiation _. It is legal to grow opium poppies in the United States, but only if you don't know they can be used to make drugs. I don't know if it's still a thing, but if you listen to Pandora Radio, the songs download into your temp folder under your browser. Just add the MP4 after it and you can play it. I spent lots of college listening to Pandora, and if I liked a song I'd save it. If you paused the song in time, then the most recent song was the top one in the temp folder. Below are complete instructions on how to hack an electronic road sign. 1. the access panel to the electronic road sign is protected by a tiny lock which is often left unprotected. After you wiggle the lock open, you can usually see the display electronics. 2. Next, seek out the black control panel which is attached to the access panel by a curly cord and a keyboard as its face. 3. Not too difficult so far, is it? In terms of programming, you simply scroll down the menu to instant text and type in whatever you would like to display. Hit enter to submit and your message are good to go. If you need more than one page to send your tasteful message, you can add more pages by selecting Add Page. So if you are still struggling to reach the third step, no worries. If the sign does ask for a password, try the default password. If the motivated crew member did decide to change it, no worries, enter DIPY which will automatically reset the sign's password to dots. Have fun! You can ask scientists for their research paper that you usually have to pay money to view in a journal. They are allowed to just email it to you, no questions asked, and they like to do it. When companies ask for your name/age/sex/race/occupation/salary/etc., you can just lie. You will never be able to remove the information about yourself off the internet, but you can muddy the water quite a bit. Hospitals have but don't tell you about a program to reduce your bills depending on how much you make. You can go to their website and find a usually hidden link for financial assistance policies and really cut your bill down. Edit. Just want to put a thanks to all the people who added helpful info to what I put here, and I'm happy we're all able to help those who need it and don't know. My dad was an ordnance, munitions, explosives captain in Saudi Arabia during the Gulf War. He brought back tons of manuals on how to set up explosives and make traps. Looking back, it might have been something you wouldn't want your child to read, but take a look, it's in a book, it's a reading rainbow. 1284X is a Ford Fleet key. Not chipped, can be found on Amazon for $7 and perfectly legal to replicate. Searching 1284X file type.pdf site.gov. Will pull government bids that involve that key, and also show you what agencies you could open up or drive away a police car. In Canada, you can record any conversation with someone without their knowledge, unless it is in furtherance of an offence. I had to do this with an auto restoration shop in order to do a visa chargeback when they did nothing to my car but steal parts for almost a year. Curtis Customs in Nova Scotia. I don't mind mentioning them because there are already news stories about their scams. Edit. A lot of replies from people possibly misreading. If you are recording a conversation with someone, you are part of the conversation and would be the consenting individual, one-party consent. It's definitely wrong and illegal to record just any conversation between two or more other people. That in Ireland there is no legal age to get tattoo. Legally you can tattoo a newborn as long as the parents consent. We can get done for bodily harm to a minor if there is no consent. We have an industry standard of 16 with parent or 18 with ID. I'm a tattooist in Ireland. You can ask the FBI if they have a file on you. Crystal meth isn't particularly difficult to synthesize and you can possibly have a cheap knockoff using materials available in a high school chemistry lab. When I was a kid, my dad taught me how to pick a lock. I became very interested in different kinds of locks and purchased a lockpick set. I practiced for years and became pretty good at certain types of locks. So over the years, every now and then, if a neighbor locks themselves out of the house or a friend loses the key to a padlock or a lockbox, I've been able to help. But the reactions I tend to get from people, even while I'm helping them with their lock, is mainly one of mistrust. I'm not a cat burglar. I just like locks. What aging celebrity, 40 to 60, would you still tap? Well, I'm 53, so a lot of them. Brad Pitt, Matthew McConaughey, and Hugh Jackman top my list. Why stop at 60? Linda Cardellini. Rachel Weisz, she was my childhood crush and somehow she doesn't age, lol. I'm 52, so my answer is probably most of them. Salma Hayek and Thandai Newton are high on the list, however. Kate Beckinsale. That woman will be eternally beautiful to me. Timothy Olyphant. Having recently watched the Book of Boba Fett, I was shocked to learn that both Ming-Na Wen and Jennifer Beals are 58 years old. Both super hot. Monica Bellucci. Morena Baccarin. I would gladly let Ewan McGregor rail me. Liz Hurley. Kate Beckinsale, Michelle Pfeiffer, Rachel Weisz, Eva Green, Emilia Fox. Idris Elba, Brad Pitt, Keanu Reeves, there are many that are aging beautifully. Gillian Anderson.